future is still out there, it is something my people could never say. There will be a tomorrow.
Only if we win today.
No one else has ever made it this far.
You came a long way, Javik. Further than anyone else here.
And I look forward to fulfilling my mission. But you are now the avatar of this cycle, the exemplar of victory. Not just for humanity, or Turians, or Protheans, but for all life. Every soul that has ever existed is watching this moment.
There's an old saying here on Earth. May you be in heaven half an hour before the devil knows you're dead.
So here we are, just a couple of days before the release of Mass Effect Andromeda. My own intro. Most of this video I did months ago when I ran for Mass Effect 3 again. And, you know, I just wanted to do a video of the space battles as a sort of ending, my own custom ending to Mass Effect 3. I mean, really, the biggest problem as far as I see it with the ending of Mass Effect 3 is the length. It's just, what, 20, 30 minutes of just talking and not actually having interesting conversations with the elusive man and the kid. Which really isn't, you know, not necessarily the way you should have ended Mass Effect. I mean, you look at the ending of Mass Effect 1, you look at the ending of Mass Effect 2, and then look at the ending of Mass Effect 3. I think since Mass Effect 3, they've learned a great deal of harsh lessons. I mean, they got rid of the doctors and put Aaron Flynn in charge, and he was the guy that made Dragon Age Inquisition what it is. Now, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of issues with Dragon Age Inquisition, on a gameplay level, on an exploration level, on a world level. But it had one of the best protagonists, actually the best protagonist in Bioware history, and it had one of the best stories that Bioware ever produced. I don't think Bioware is uncomfortable when it comes, or really doesn't know yet how to do open world well, or large spaces well. Because they got so used to making narrower focused games when, you know, they switched to doing games on consoles, and they're still adjusting. You know, that's where I think about it. So on the issue of Mass Effect Andromeda, I do want to talk about my expectations of it. On a gameplay level, I expect the shooter aspect of it will be similar to Mass Effect 3, more flexibility in terms of your class, more mobility, and that's good, right? And more weapons, more customization, all that kind of stuff. Perhaps a similar crafting system to Dragon Age Inquisition. Like from the gameplay videos I've seen, there are going to be a lot of elements in terms of crafting and open world from Dragon Age Inquisition. Am I a fan of that? Crafting is okay, right? That's not a problem. What I'm not fond of is the open world design, which seems that it's Dragon Age Inquisition, but improved. And very few people, a lot of people didn't like that aspect. Though truthfully, I imagine a lot of that dislike doesn't come from the fact that the gathering, the grinding, or any of that. It doesn't come from the actual exploration aspect of it, but comes far more so from the fact that the combat of Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't that great. Whereas the combat, from all I've seen of Mass Effect Andromeda, is going to be a great deal of fun. So, my expectation when it comes to Mass Effect Andromeda is that it's going to have a better open world, better exploration, far more mobility than Inquisition, far better combat. Obviously, it's, you know, third-person shooter in the vein of the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, more flexibility, more mobility. The thing that no one really knows a lot about is the story, and that's because they haven't actually told us anything on the story. I mean, they've given us broad strokes, but we don't actually know what we're in for. We're in this new galaxy in Andromeda. Mass Effect Andromeda is more like a spin-off than a sequel. It's really a spin-off versus a sequel. A new setting, new characters, a new galaxy, and new threats to deal with. And the vibe that I'm getting, the strongest vibe that I'm getting from all of this is that of Stargate Atlantis. I mean, I get a very similar vibe where you get these explorers entering a new galaxy, hoping to find, in the case of Atlantis, hoping to find the ancient city of Atlantis. In the case of the Andromeda Initiative, the Golden Worlds, and doesn't go exactly as they thought, and they encounter a threat, and they have to deal with it. Now, Stargate Atlantis was perfectly fine as a series, but at one point they lost direction. At one point they didn't know, you know, what they were doing. Were they dealing with the Wraith? Were they dealing with the replicators in Atlantis? What were they dealing with? What was the overarching plot? And my worry with Andromeda is that the exploration part, the characters, all that, that's probably going to be fine. Cliche, probably. But my worry is the cat. My worry is with the antagonist. And my worry is with the pseudo-fantastical bullshit that they've had in the series since the beginning. That's what I'm worried about. And Mac Walters was one of the people responsible for a lot of the bad writing in Mass Effect 3. Like, there was really good writing in Mass Effect 3, the Quarian plotline, Quarian Geth plotline, the Genophage plotline. But Cerberus stuff, the ending stuff, that's Mac Walters. Casey Hudson may no longer be part of the Mass Effect team, but Mac Walters still is part of the Mass Effect team. And that's something that's worrying me, because I don't trust Mac Walters. Really do not trust that Mac Walters will deliver good stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess he was responsible for Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 2 was a great game, an enjoyable game. They really focused on the personal stories. I mean, Mass Effect, the original trilogy, they were always kind of in between wanting to be Star Wars or Star Trek. Star Trek more focused on the universe, Star Wars more focused on the characters. Mass Effect 1 was more Star Trek, Mass Effect 2 was more Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is a character-driven story. It's about the personal relationships between the characters. It's not about the universe, at least the original movie trilogy. So, with this one, getting a Stargate vibe, that could be good, that could be bad. The execution matters. Now, I'll be able to play the game on March 16th, and that's because of Origin Access. I mean, you get the discount when it comes to buying the game. You actually save money if you buy the game after getting Origin Access. So that's what I did. There was actually a trial for Origin Access. So you get 10 hours of play, and based on what developers have said, it would probably, and you have a story gate, so you can't progress past a certain point in the story. From what I've heard, it's about 6 hours, but the developer mentioned that, said that he didn't do everything. I imagine, given that I'm going to play on the highest difficulty and all that, probably 6-8 hours, something along those lines. I'll play some multiplayer, but mostly I'll focus on the single player, because that's obviously what I'm interested in. And you do keep your saves, so when the game fully comes out on March 21st, you can just continue playing after that. So I am interested, but I am, I'm cautiously optimistic, just as I was cautiously optimistic about Dragon Age Inquisition, and that turned out to be an enjoyable game. So I guess we'll see. I'll leave you with another music video that I did. This one as a sort of ending for my playthrough of Mass Effect 2. Costin, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.
Honestly, I'm tired. Tired of dealing with Cerberus. Tired of the Council ignoring me. Tired of my closest friends not believing me. I have no idea how we're gonna do this. I'm doing everything I can, but...
You've done more than most. There wouldn't be a man, woman, or child left on Horizon, if not for you.
Shepard, you have become an annoyance. You fight against inevitability, dust struggling against cosmic winds. This seems a victory to you, a star system sacrificed. But even now, your greatest civilizations are doomed to fall. Your leaders will beg to serve us.
The Collectors, the Reapers, they aren't a threat to us. They're a threat to everything, everyone. Those are the lives we're fighting for. That's the scale.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal, the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
Yes,
People will die. Maybe we'll lose half the galaxy. Maybe more. But I will do whatever it takes to rid the galaxy of the Reaper threat. However insignificant we might be. We will fight, we will sacrifice, and we will find a way. That's what humans do.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken. The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance.